Good afternoon, everyone. I am Manish Kumar from University of Udine. So I am presenting research here that's a part of our big project Concerto, in which we have 5 universities, uh, Roma 3, Polito, University of Turin, University of Modena, and University of Udine. And this research is performed by Roma 3, Polito, and University of Udine, in which the the material is prepared by Polito, and the researchers over there is Paola and Bartolomeo. And Edoardo from Roma 3 performed the experiments. Me and Enrico, we did the numerical simulations for this research. The outline of my research is, first I will talk about the objectives of the research, then the experimental results that we have that is performed by our research partners, then the numerical modeling, and some results, and I will summarize the results at the last. So the objectives of this research, as we know, we have the polycrystalline material. We can have grains, and the fracture can be transgranular and the intergranular. So our goal is first to perform the simulation with the realistic microstructure instead of generating something from numerically. We want to perform simulation with the realistic microstructure and having the ability to perform the fracture, intergranular and transgranular fracture, and also having the different behavior between the grains, having those, and also model the microstructural activity that's going within the grain. Now, if we move, so this is our goal, to perform all these things numerically and couple that. So for this, we have experimental results which are performed on the toughened ceramics. So as you can see here, we chosen this geometry. It's a cantilever which is fixed on the end, and we have a point, and we applied the control displacement on this one, and the dimensions of this cantilever is 10 micron in the length and 4 by 4 micron. These are the material properties that were obtained with the experiments. And this specimen is prepared with the fib. And you can see here, it's after this fracture. And if we see the load versus displacement plot of this one, we can see here that with the stress, here, there is a plateau type. So this thing, we concluded that this thing is happening due to the phase transformation. There is some phase transformation happening due to the applied stress, and we want to mimic this thing numerically. So first of all, for this, we are using two approaches. First numerical approach is the phase field. So I'm talking about two major techniques to perform the numerical simulations for the cracks. First one is the discrete approach. In this, we have the options like FEM, XFEM, XIGA. In this one, we have the discrete crack. And the another approach is the smeared or the diffuse crack, in which we have options like phase field or the gradient damage. This approach is based on the energy, and we diffuse the crack in the whole domain, and we control it with a scalar function, scalar variable, and the value of that scalar variable will tell us if there is a crack or it's an intact material. Benefits of this diffused approach is that it's based on the energy, and it can also model the complex cracks like crack branching or crack merging, and it's quite easy to extend it from 2D to 3D, which is problematic in the discrete approach. If we talk about a little mathematics behind this, so let's say we have this domain in which we have a crack. So we diffuse the crack in the whole domain, and our phase field, that's a scalar variable, its zero value is indicating an intact material, and its value 1 is indicating the fully broken material. If we go for the variation formulation, for this methodology. So it consists of elastic energy, then dissipation energy, and then the applied loads. In the elastic energy, we have a degradation function. So with the with the loading, this degradation function is changing with the evolution of the phase field. So this will degrade the material, or we can say it will lower down the material's resistance to take the load. And then we have the dissipation function, which will control the evolution of the phase field. We can have different type of dissipation functions. So here I'm showing the three, which are commonly the 81. This one, the outer one, the black one is 82 model. The blue one is the 81 model, and the green one is the higher order phase field. So with these different models, we can also mimic the softening mechanism, like linear softening or exponential softening after the peak. For all this, we have published our code. So the name is G Phoenix. It's available for the public, and it's based on the Python in the Phoenix language. So if we now move for the phase transformation. So in our case, our material is based on zirconia, in which the tetragonal phase is converting into monoclinic with the application of the stress. Here there is a change at the atomic level, so we want to mimic this. So let's suppose we have a domain with a tetragonal phases. When we apply this load, it can convert into 12 possible variants of a monoclinic. But in this material, only 2 variants are dominant. So I'm showing those 2. And to model this, we use 2 scalar variables denoted as phi1 and phi2, which will be 0 when we are having tetragonal material. And after the phase transformation, one variable will take a one value from 0 to 1 when it's transition. And when it's fully 1, we have the first invariant of the phase transformation. And then if the second variable is representing the second variance. So to solve this, to make this, we are using this time-dependent equation in which we need the derivative of the total force with respect to the invariants. And then we have this kinetic coefficient. So the free energy, this total free energy consists of a chemical energy and the elastic energy. Chemical energy will consist of 2 terms. First term, this term is the gradient energy term, and the first term is based on the concentration of the invariants within the domain. So now we can, with the previous equation, we can control the evolution of the invariants. Now we need to couple this with the elastic energy also, with the mechanical loading. So for this, we have the transformation chain. As you see in the previous slides, when the transformation is happening, there is a deformation in the shape also. So that change in shape is accommodated here in the transformation chain. It's like a eigenstrain. So as we have this elastic energy, instead of total strains, we are using the elastic strain, which is total strain minus this eigenstrains. And then with the mechanical equilibrium of this energy, we can couple the phase transformation with the mechanical loading. Another thing is when we are changing the phases, the material properties are also changing. The constitutive matrix for monoclinic and tetragonal is not same. This is also changing. To have a smooth transformation, we define this equation, and where P is a function of the concentration of the invariants. So we have the smooth material conversion. It's not abrupt. So I'm showing these are some numerical results the first result is the fracture failure. This is performed using the phase fields. This is the old results that I have shown earlier also. So this is also under publication. So here we can see we have a cantilever. We fix the right edge and applied the displacement. On the left is a point displacement on the left topmost point. And here in the first image, we can see there is a fracture and it start following the grain boundaries. So in this, we have 4 different type of grains, 4 different type of material points, and due to this stress state, the cracks start following the grain boundaries. Here we have the same material, but its orientation is different. So we have a different material configuration here, and we can see the crack is starting with on the grain boundaries, and later on it go into the bulk. So with this, we can fulfill our first 2 objectives to model the realistic microstructure, because these grain boundaries are taken from the first image of microstructure that I have shown. Using the in-house produced codes, we can prepare this numerical model with the actual grain boundaries. Now, if we perform just the fracture failure of a specimen, cantilever specimen that I have shown earlier. So we have this specimen, and we have a pre-crack on the left end, and left end is fixed, and we applied a control displacement on the right end. And using these material properties, we perform simulation. Here we are lucky, we can use the half symmetry. So we perform this simulation, and as you can see here with the phase field, we have the crack evolution. And if we plot the load displacement with this simulation and compare it with the experiments, we can say it's not in agreement, because with the toughening mechanism that we obtained in the phase transformation is not accommodated in the earlier simulation. So to do that, first we need to perform the phase transformation. For this, we consider a domain of 2 by 2 micron, and we give a random distribution of both the invariants of 5.1 and 5.2 as random distribution of up to 0.1. So up to 0.1 of random distribution in this domain, but it's first we start with the tetragonal. So if you see here, so we start with the tetragonal with the random distribution. The domain is clamped from all the boundaries, and with the time, we can see both the invariants of the monoclinic one, and we can get this phase transformation. If we go see here, if we see this, these 2 are the eigenstains used in the phase transformation. Now, if we perform the simulation, we want to see there is some sort of toughening due to this phase transformation. For that, we take a domain similar like earlier, 2 by 2 domain, and we have elliptical crack in the center, and then using same material properties and giving the random distribution, we perform the simulation, and you can see with the time we have the phase transformation here. Here this dark red color is showing the first invariant of the monoclinic, and the green one is showing the second one, and in between is showing the space which is still in transformation. Now, if we plot the displacement contour, if you see here, this one is the without phase transformation. So it's a simple crack opening problem. And if we consider the phase transformation, you can see there is a crack closure effect. Because we consider the phase transformation, you can also see it here. So here on the upper surface of the crack, the material is going down, and here it's going in the upward direction. So it's a crack closure due to the toughening induced due to the phase transformation. You can see also here in the contour plot of the whole domain. So it's the crack closure here. So the summary of this, with this research, we have the capability to model the different type of softening using the phase field model, like the 82, 81, and the higher order phase field. We have developed the numerical technique to model multivariant phase transformation, and built the facility to account for the toughening mechanism, and coupling of all these mechanism is undergoing. And with this coupling, we can validate the next step to experimentally validate these results. And this developed technique can be extended for the fatigue fracture. Thank you. And all these codes are available on the GitHub. So it's open for everyone.